Hi and welcome back to the Swarm Strategy channel. Today we're talking about using data in your marketing and how you can use data to optimize the customer experience and grow your business. A lot of companies have access to a huge amount of data now with digital marketing through your Google Analytics, social media, and all your campaigning, but they're not using it to its full potential. You can use your data to find out so much about your customers, their behaviors, their preferences, and their pain points. But a lot of companies aren't using the data, or they're only using it to look at the results of their campaigns. Today, we're going to talk about how you can use data to understand customer pain points and eliminate them, and how you can use your data to identify customer preferences and optimize for them. We're going to talk through two examples of companies who are doing this really well, Disney and Netflix. So the first point is using data to understand customer pain points and eliminate them. And we're going to talk through the example of Disney World. While Disney World was a magical experience, the booking process was anything but. You had to go through the struggle of booking tickets for multiple different parks, transport, hotels, queuing for hours in lines for rides, attempting to figure out a map of the park and your best route through it. And this whole process was really tedious and time-consuming. So Disney used data to introduce what they called the Magic Band. The Magic Band streamlined the entire process. You could use your Magic Band, a little wristband on your wrist, as a hotel key, transport ticket, a ticket to each of the different parks, and you could connect it through to an app on your phone to help you work out the best route through the park, book attractions in advance so that you didn't have to queue in lines, and you could even order from a restaurant in the park so that by the time you walked into the restaurant, they greeted you by name and your order was ready and waiting for you. Based on the data from the wristbands, Disney could improve the experience for their customers. They could send characters for meets and greets in busy areas. They could use promotions to draw people away from bottlenecks and long queues and into other areas of the park. And they could identify which rides and attractions were the best performing and most popular, and then they could create more that were like that. They also used it to understand their customers. These wristbands gave Disney a whole lot of information about what rides were popular, what rides were not popular, which groups of people preferred which types of rides or characters, even the food that they liked in the restaurants. And they could use all of that data to identify the best performing types of rides, characters, food, and create more of it. And also the ones that weren't performing, which ones did people not like, were not popular, and they could get rid of them. They could even identify where people were getting frustrated with queues and get rid of those pain points. So Disney was able to use all of this data to identify pain points like queuing, having to manage multiple tickets, and get rid of all of that process. And then improve the experience using the data that they got about their customers. So how could you do this in a practical way? Well, on analytics, social media, you've got a whole lot of information about where people are on your website, on your social channels, and what they're doing. You can look at drop-off points like exit pages on your landing pages to see where people might be getting frustrated with your checkout process or your browsing. You could see where people are looking at the most popular products, which pages they spend the most time on, and you can optimize for that content. The second example is Netflix. And Netflix did a really good job of identifying customer preferences and optimizing for them. Netflix doesn't have a large target market. They have a market of one person where they have an ultra personal feed, customized exactly to the way that you behave. Netflix tracks everything that you do within their platform. Whether you started a movie and stopped watching it quickly because you lost interest, whether you didn't like something or you binged an entire series in one day, whether you watched one movie but didn't like another, whether you watched a whole lot of one actor or one type of movie like rom-coms, they track all of it and they use that to create an ultra personalized feed for you. For everything you see in your Netflix feed, every thumbnail of the movies and TV shows, they are carefully designed by Netflix to be ultra personalized. Netflix has 5 to 10 different thumbnail options to choose from for every single item that they show you in your feed. They change it based on actor, based on type of content, based on your preferences and your previous watching habits to determine which one is the best for you. So you might see a picture of Jennifer Lawrence if you watch a lot of Jennifer Lawrence movies, or if you watch a lot of action movies, you might see an action shot of the film. They also used this in their marketing, and it was a way that they were able to optimize their spend and their target audience. They created 10 different movie trailers when promoting their series House of Cards. While this may seem expensive, it actually saved them money in the long run because they were able to create an ultra-personalized trailer that spoke directly to their target audience and was likely to be the most appealing. This data that Netflix used was not external data gathered from third parties. This was all just data about their customers, what they do, how they behave, what they like. And they made sure that they listened to what their customers were doing and used it. The way that you can practically do this is setting up affinity audiences or observation audiences to track what your customers are doing on your platforms. And what your audiences are doing through your social media and your analytics. You can track what pages they prefer, what social content they are spending the most time watching based on individual audience segments. And then you can hyper-personalize to small segments of your customers rather than broadcasting to a wide range of an audience. This is all about just keeping the customer at the center, giving them exactly what they want in a personalized feed, which shows how much you care about what they're interested in and not just selling a product or a service to them. The more that you show them a personalized experience with a call to action and a message and a creative that resonates with them and their story, the more likely they are to respond in a positive way to you and to share it with others. So the more you use your affinity audiences, looking at your top performing content, looking at which pages are most popular, the more you can understand what people want and drill down into individual segments. Another thing that's useful here is split testing. Testing different creative and different ads for different audiences so that you can make sure you get the best creative for that audience. So to recap, you want to use your data to do two things: understand customer pain points and eliminate them, and identify customer preferences and optimize for them. And the key thing is just keeping the customer front and center. Thanks for watching.